Hi, good morning, Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, so today we'll be doing an interview to talk about the healing practice that you have as a qigong teacher and healer. So I'll be interested to know what made you want to become a qigong teacher and healer.
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. It kind of happened by accident. I used to be a chemical engineer and a very stressful, busy life. And a friend of mine had signed up for a qigong and taichi class, and it was far from home, and she wanted some company, so she asked me to go with her. And so I did. I joined the course, and after about 6 months in, my asthma completely was gone. And I had asthma since I was a teenager. My brother had bad asthma, my sister had asthma, we all had asthma. And after 6 months of doing Tai Chi and Qigong, my asthma was gone. So I was really surprised and impressed with the changes that happened inside of me. So I started to study Qigong uh, with much more intensity and with a desire to understand how it came about that my body could heal. And
Yeah,
that's
that's very cool. So how many qigong teachers do you have before you become a practitioner?
had several teachers over the years. My most significant teacher is Dr. Yang Juing Ming. I studied with him in Boston beginning in 1997, and since then he's moved to California. So I've been studying with him since then. So he's my main teacher. His material is so accessible, understandable. I've had some other significant teachers over the years. I started my journey with Qigong healing with Master TK She, who I studied with down in Kingston, New York. I also studied Qi healing with Master Hong Liu in California and Los Angeles. And another significant Qigong teacher of mine is Dr. Jay Dunbar. He's in North Carolina. And I learned some very significant Qigong sets from him and some Tai Chi from him as well.
Mm. So like during your learning journey, do you encounter any difficulties or hiccups, and what do you do to overcome them?
Uh, the process of learning qigong can be a little tricky at times. Finding a teacher with knowledge, that's one step. All right, you find a teacher with knowledge, but another important step is, are they willing to share that knowledge to a deep level, or do they want to only share a little bit at a time and keep it very superficial? So that can be problematic for a lot of students, finding a teacher who can explain things and who's available. Uh, so that was difficult over the years, and that's why I ended up mainly studying with Dr. Yang and with Jay Dunbar. Have been the most accessible teachers, the most knowledgeable. Master Hong had a lot of knowledge, but there was also the distance involved in California, and then not very accessible, not easy. I couldn't just send him an email, okay?
Right.
And that makes it difficult if you don't have a teacher who you can say, I've gotten this far. How do I do this next bit? Um, that's an important thing when you're looking for a teacher. Can you contact them? So uh, I recommend
Yeah.
when someone's looking for a teacher, you definitely want somebody who's knowledgeable, but they also need to be accessible.
Yeah, yeah. So talking about your healing practice, what are the types of patients that you have encountered so far?
I pretty much have treated every kind of um, health issue over the years. I've been doing chi healing since 1995, so that's a long time to experience a lot of people. In the beginning, it was a narrow range. Somebody finds out about me and they tell their friend who has the same problem. Um, so in the beginning, it was mostly 40-year-old women who had trouble with depression. That was the beginning because I got an in with somebody who had a lot of friends with the same kind of problem. But now, almost 30 years later, I've seen everything from little babies to people 90, 99 years old. I've seen everything from emotional problems like anxiety, depression, to serious problems, cancer, autoimmune illnesses, digestive troubles, all kinds of things over the length of my practice.
Would you like to share if there's any special or memorable cases in your practice?
Sure. So sometimes the memorable stuff is something that doesn't seem like that, significant. Like I had one client who showed up who had trouble with hiccuping. So he would hiccup for days and he couldn't stop. And it had been going on for 2 weeks when I saw him. So during the first healing treatment, I got the hiccups to go away after about half an hour of working on him. And I taught him a qigong exercise to do if they came back. And just one treatment and then doing the qigong exercise, the hiccups were gone and they didn't come back. So that's a significant change for that person's life because it was so disruptive. But I've also had clients with serious health problems like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, problems like MS and lupus. And those situations took about a year or two, but I've had people completely get remission from those serious problems. So that the lupus went away, the multiple sclerosis went away, the chronic fatigue syndrome went away, but it takes much longer for a systemic problem that it affects the immune system like that.
Like for this kind of long-term and complex illness, what were some of the sensations your patients describe to you as they improve along the way?
So the significant thing that needs to happen when someone has a serious chronic life-threatening illness, the necessary steps have to be learning how to relax their own body deeply and learn how to find quiet in their own mind, not a constant dialogue going on in the head, conversation in the head. And that's what takes a long time to accomplish. Most people who have a serious illness, cancer, autoimmune problems, have a constant conflict going on in their mind. Someone in their head is arguing with them all the time. And that's what really takes a lot of practice. People have to learn how to quiet that down one little notch at a time. So as I would continue to work with these clients, when we would meet again, I would do qi healing and I would instruct them, teach them techniques. The necessary change that they have to start feeling is that a sense of well-being needs to begin to grow inside their own bodies, and a sense of a little more quiet. It doesn't need to shut off completely, just reduction and how much chaos, how much conflict is going on in the head. So each treatment session, the person achieves a relaxed state, and then that becomes their set point, their benchmark to compare how they're doing as they practice on their own. Can they get to that place of relaxation? Can they get to that place of quiet inside the mind? So the sensations that they are looking for is that moment of well-being, a sense that there is not a fight going on within them, no one to argue with in their head, that has to be accessible as they practice, and then a little bit more as time goes on, that needs to get to be more of an enduring property of their inner self.
Yeah, I think that's something quite special I'm listening to, because normally people are looking for reduction of symptoms, but instead it's like you are more focusing on quieting the mind, bringing the inner peace to the person, and gradually growing that, and gradually the illness will subside by its own.
That's exactly right. When the body is creating the illness, we have to change the whole body. So the illness is a result of the body being so upset, the mind being so upset. The illness arises from that state. And modern people want to take a pill and have the illness vanish, but the illness is arising from the body. The body keeps manifesting it. It's not a psychological problem, okay? Like anxiety, you could call a psychological situation where their mind is anxious. But the serious chronic illness is not a psychological problem, but it is being created by a body that is in psychological distress for decades. It doesn't happen overnight. It's people get about 30 to 40 years of feeling distressed before their body says, I cannot function anymore. And the illness arises. So there's no quick fix for that. And all modern Western medications, they are looking for a fix for that, trying to manipulate the immune system, but it does not work. And people say, well, maybe in 20 years it'll work. Western medicine will work. And I'm like, I put a question mark there. I put a question mark because if the body keeps generating the conflict inside, so we have a fight in our head. Do this, no, I can't do that. Do this, no, I can't do that. That's the fight going on in the head. Then the body is saying, where's the enemy? Where's the enemy? And it keeps creating this immune system problem because it knows there's an enemy. The mind has said there's an enemy, except the enemy is being generated by that conflict in the mind. So as long as there's an enemy, the body will keep creating this immune system response.
Yeah. So the next question is, I understand that you do distant healing. Could you tell us how it differs from Reiki?
Okay, that's a great question. When I first started experimenting with alternative healing, that was Reiki, and that was in 1988. I took a Reiki seminar in 88, and that was my first, experience of any kind of healing art. And the main difference between Reiki and qigong healing is that with Reiki, the practitioner is a conduit drawing energy from the universe into their own body and then funneling that energy to their client. And the client's body soaks up whatever energy that it wants to soak up. So the practitioner is just making it available, like offering a plate of food. If you're hungry, take some, okay? With qigong healing, I take that energy from the universe, but I don't just offer it to the body. I clear out blockages from the body first. I comb out energy blockages, and then I put that energy in the body from the universe, and I manipulate that energy going in so that it widens the pathways for energy flow in the body and maintains those proper pathways. And I take that energy from the universe and I get it into every cell to like a power wash, forcing the chi to wash out the blockages. So because of that, I need to maintain, as the practitioner, I need to maintain an awareness of the cells in the client's body, because I'm not just offering, and then when the person is, full, that body stops taking it. I'm doing washing again and again and again the cells, multiple times within a healing session. Like you have a dish in the sink and you're washing it, but something is stuck, okay, on the dish. And you say, I gotta scrub it hard. Like it's still not doing it. I gotta soak it for a little bit. And then I'm gonna scrub it again, and then I'm gonna soak it a little bit. And then it's still not coming off. I need a special cleaner. That's what qigong healing is like. So I need to really be aware of the person's body and the cells, what it's supposed to look like, what is supposed to happen with the chi flow. I need to have a very accurate level of awareness of the proper chi flow inside the client's body. I need to be aware where the
Very
Reiki,
detailed energy work. Yeah.
yes, very detailed. And with Reiki, the Reiki practitioner just offers it and the body takes what they want. And when it stops taking, the person's done. They do not need an awareness of the other person's body, which makes it so simple to learn Reiki. With Qigong healing, you need to study a lot. You need to practice a lot so that you can interpret what is happening in the person's body.
So I understand that there are many schools of qigong practice whereby you teach people how to do the qigong exercises. So which school of qigong exercise do you teach, and what is the unique ability of this qigong?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are many different schools of Qigong out there that focus on one style of Qigong or another style of Qigong, and they give that style of Qigong a name. Say this is, one style of Qigong, this is another. Those schools you can go and study and you learn that style. With my school, I have picked styles of Qigong that fit within the framework that I think is the most healing for Qigong.
Maybe would you like to tell us what are some of the styles that you have incorporated?
Okay.
Example like
Yes.
内丹, 外丹, or eight 八段锦. Yeah,
Yes.
can we
Yes.
name some of the styles you have
Yes. So the traditional styles that I have taken from teachers along the way that are very helpful for healing. 4 Seasons Qigong, I learned that set from Dr. Yang Ming. 8 pieces of brocade, okay, very healing. I learned that from Dr. Yang. 6 healing sounds. I learned that style from the teachings of Mantak Chia, the healing Tao system. 6 healing sounds, very healing. And then I created 2 styles of my own using principles from those styles of Qigong. I created Rising Lotus Medical Qigong and Healthy Balance Qigong. Those styles are some of the core ones that I think are super healing, but also Primordial Qigong from the teachings of Ken Cohen. Primordial Qigong is one of the most profoundly healing styles for serious illness like cancer. So that's a very important style to learn as well. There's a few other styles in there, crane flying Qigong, fragrance Qigong, very healing, silk reeling Qigong. Those are some other styles that are specific for different kinds of health issues.
And energetically in your client population, what are some of the trends you have noticed in the past recent few years?
Yeah. So I think some of the most common problems that people have, anxiety and depression, very, very common, okay? Joint problems, degeneration of the joints, injuries to the joints, restricted mobility because of that, very, very common. And then fatigue. Fatigue is a serious problem and trouble sleeping at night. Those are the most common. Because I've been practicing as a Qigong healer for a long time, I do have a significant percentage of people with very serious problems like cancer and autoimmune illnesses that are very dangerous. I have a small but significant percentage of clients with those, but the largest percent are, as I mentioned, digestive trouble, like acid reflux, trouble with their digestion. So the most common are basically, the modern day lifestyle, creating that anxiety, depression.
Right. So last 2 questions. The first one is when clients meet you for the first time, what should they expect when they see you?
So when someone comes to see me for the first time, I try to begin with giving them an orientation about what Qigong is. So I do a very short little explanation, unless they're already experienced with it. I explain, put it in a context about how they're going to receive healing from me, but also how they're going to learn how to take care of themselves using Qigong and other techniques that I offer, meditation, nutrition, Chinese medicine, and that they're going to, part of the process is they're going to learn how to take care of themselves and create that shift inside. And after we communicate for a little bit, they might have questions for me. I might have questions for them. I have already sent them a Chinese medicine questionnaire, so I know a lot about them before they walk in, and I might have follow-up questions and they might want to ask me something. After that, we do the hands-on healing, whether they're in person or at a distance. After we talk, I have them get in a comfortable position and I begin the treatment. And I'm scanning, and then combing out blockages, sending energy in. When someone receives healing from me, usually they feel very relaxed, very comfortable. Some people feel a lot of energy right away, but some people don't. Common feelings of energy flow are warm, tingling, a floating sensation, a sleepy sensation. About 80% of the people I work on fall asleep while I'm working on them because it's very relaxing. And so those are all normal sensations. If they feel anything different from that, I ask them to let me know. If they feel pressure, sometimes if the qi builds up in an area and the area is very blocked, it can create a little pressure, and I ask them to tell me so I can address that during the healing session. And then after the healing session, I give them some instruction based on what I know about them and what I have learned from the healing. I teach them an exercise to address wherever the major blockages are in their body. So if I felt something in the chest, I would teach them a qigong exercise to get the qi flowing through the chest, or if it was a back problem, I would teach them something for the back. And then they would get in touch with me after that if they had questions about it so that I could address those questions.
How can our audience contact you?
Yeah, great. The best way to reach me is through my website, qigongrochester.com. And that's the best way to get a hold of me with any questions, anytime.
Thanks so much, Lisa. It's nice to talk to you.
Thank you so much for getting in touch with me. I really appreciate your support.